Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Planet Coaster. This is episode 4, and I'm super excited about this episode today because we get to design and build our first major ride. And as you can see on the screen, our first major ride is a water rapids ride. I'm super excited to show you guys what this becomes because it's insane. And just to give some background, I tried this a couple different ways. Took me about 5 hours just to do this one ride. Anybody that plays Planet Coaster knows how crazy and insane building things in this game is. It's very time consuming, and you have to make sure you got a bunch of time to do things. So nonetheless, this ride took about 5 hours. The first hour was me trying to cut out ground and cut out things in the ground so I can lay these tracks down. And then I also tried to level the ground and then do a lot of water. That didn't go over super well. Man, I mean, we went through just a whole parade of different things to get to this method right here. And how I'm doing this is basically you place the track down and then uncover the track with the terrain tool. Now there's no terrain step tool. For instance, in the old Roller Coaster Tycoon series, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, they had a tool where it was a square. So the map was based off of a grid, which this game is not, by the way, but the map was based off of a grid structure. And I could level grid by grid at a time. So I could select 2 by 3 or 2 by 2 or, whatever, but I can select the grids and perfectly level down a step of a grid to lower the terrain. So I would have an even square, and then I can move forward with subsequent squares all around the ride and then bury the ride into the ground perfectly. Now, obviously with this game, I'm not able to do that. So this method actually worked. And now you guys can see as I'm creating this tunnel, but I was also able to kind of clip the ground in the ride. You'll see this here in a few minutes, but I was able to clip the ground into the ride. So I almost debated going back and actually redoing the ride all like that, where you clip the ground and it's kind of flush with the ride's flush with the ground. So I debated going back through and redoing it, but it turned out really well. And you guys will see later on in the time lapse here where we will do something really cool. We'll fence everything out so it gives some sort of barrier and it gives a certain amount of depthness to the surface, and it looks like it contains the ride really well, and then top it off with foliage. So yeah, that was the big hurdle to get over. And then figuring out some logistical pieces where okay, does a ride raise up here, does it go through a tunnel, like what does that look like? So right now you guys can see where I'm uncovering where the ground is flush with the terrain and the ride. So the terrain and the ride are flush with the ground. And that was a big thing, in the future. If anybody is playing this game and you can achieve that, and you want to have it flush, that's the way to do it. We found the way to do it. So moving on. So I was thinking a little bit, and in real life, if I don't know who has written a ride like this in real life, give me a shout in the comment section actually right now if you have rode and written this ride in real life. But in real life you have a lot of different elements to this ride, so whether that's a waterfall or rapids. So this ride in Planet Coaster does have those type of options. You can set rapids. You can obviously use the water tools to set different water reactors. You can trigger different things to go off in terms of water, so you can make waterfalls. You can theoretically submerge your people with water. I'm very curious to see if the citizens of this park, the people that attend this park in the game, will actually get wet and how they react to getting wet. I guess at the end of the episode when we ride this ride, we can see for it, we can see for ourselves, but I wonder if that really is true to it and that affects the score. I know it affects the score, and keep in mind, so I'm pretty new at Planet Coaster. I'm a Planet Coaster noob. This is for episode 4, so maybe I've played this game, 20, 25, 30 hours. I only have like 4 episodes up. First off too, if you have never seen any of my Planet Coaster episodes, check them out. I will leave a link in the description. So yeah, I'm a noob at this game, but I'm learning, and I'm learning some cool new techniques. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, of course, as I am a YouTuber, and I educate myself on the best tips and tricks. So if you're an expert, by all means, let me know what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and point me in the right direction. So what I'm doing right now is leveling the terrain, and I'm trying to create some sort of depthness to this ride, some sort of scenery piece that I can kind of work with and moat around. I'm also messing around with the water. I never knew there was different water types like this, so trying to see if I want to do calm water or rough water or dirty water, whatever the look I'm trying to get. But now I'm trying to match the color of the ride to make it blend in well. I thought I would go with a black color and then like a brown track. I really couldn't get the brown dialed in, so I went with all black around. It looked like the best fit for the colors that would match the scenery around it. And I'm going for the tropical space and tropical color palette. So right now we're building the enclosure of the station. This actually changes, so I don't show it in this time lapse. I do want to show myself doing this in the time lapse so you guys can get a concept of what this should look like. But I actually end up changing how this looks in terms of the wall pieces that we're putting down now, and then the floor, the wooden floor that you'll see here in a minute, just to give it a little darker look. So I went with a darker wood, and it turned out really, really cool. I'm pleasantly surprised in that. I envision this type of ride having the queue lines kind of curve right inside of the station. So having the station big enough to house, hundreds of people, obviously, that would ride this ride. So having it big enough to house the people and to have a queue line. Also, we're going to put a fast lane of some sorts in this ride. So if you pay for that ticket, you get to cut. I'm all about that type of economy, especially in video games, jacking my prices up, even though we don't have any money. But if I was running an amusement park, I definitely would do that. And I'd make the fast passes like $200, because people would pay for them. If I had money, I'd pay for them. So right now we are putting on the roof for the station. Again, this changes. The walls of the station do change, and that is coming up soon. But before we swap those guys out, we're putting the roof on top, and this is in preparation for the scenery that we're going to put on top as well. So putting that guy on. Also, a lot of people laugh at me, I know, from my last episode when I built the Kitty Land. Actually, that was episode 2. Wow, man, that was 2 episodes ago. When I built the Kitty Land, a lot of people laughed because I didn't use the actual tools. As you can see on the screen now, I just place every single thing one by one, because I forget that there's tools that you can copy and paste. Because of how this building system works, it's so different. You literally have to learn how this guy works because it's different. So going with the pirate theme, we're putting flags around the buildings and pirate ships everywhere. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but we do put pirate ships everywhere. Just now we cut to a screen. You can see how the walls are different. Now they're not the wood color, and then we switched out the gravel underneath to like a black concrete. So just a heads up with that switch there. But again, we put the ship on top of the station there. Got a cool anchor. We also have some really cool triggered effects here. I don't think we trigger them yet in this episode. That might be a thing that we come back to, but it looks really cool. And it really fits the theme of this pirate, pirate river rapids ride. We can officially call it that because that's exactly the theme and what it is. I love the assets for the pirates and the pirate scenery. They have cannons and just like money and gold and flags and ships and broken ships and these anchor things, these little horseshoe looking anchor things. I use these everywhere, so stay tuned to that. I actually had a really cool idea to create like a waterfall through those, and it turned out really, really cool. I'm excited for you guys to see it coming up. But yeah, I really love just all the scenery pieces. Like we use this broken ship as kind of a scenery piece to hold up the ride there as it falls down. Right now I'm actually putting the fences around. I kind of cut the majority of this out so you guys wouldn't have to bear through watching me put the fences up. It took around 30 minutes legit to fence this whole ride. The fences give this ride so much like dynamic. I think it's the difference between a realistic and non-realistic ride, or at least the beginnings of it. Once we get the foliage down and some of the rocks and scenery pieces, like you guys can see now. But the fences are kind of that's the secret weapon. If anybody's building this ride, literally that's the secret weapon, is fencing your area around. And then obviously these rocks give a little flair, but just how flush that fence looks, it looks like a legit rapids ride. This could be real life, and that's what we're going for. So right now we are canvassing the ride, the outer part of the ride, and just implementing scenery, rocks, and different flags and different pieces. Obviously it's rock time right now, but I experimented with different colors of rocks as well. So I tried like a kind of lighter rock. Obviously the beige rocks didn't really work, but we went around the whole horn trying different type of scenery. And as you can see, as we cut to the waterfall water effect line, where people pass through and just get dumped. We have like a post on the side there, and then as you walk down, there's like a pier or wooden pier of sorts, kind of aligning it. And later on, actually I cut this out, but we align that pier with just lights, so at night it lights the whole thing up. It looks really, really cool. This piece too, so this arch, this horseshoe arch, I utilize big time throughout the scenery piece of this build. And what I do, I cut this out, but what I do is I establish a water effect. Then I make a trigger. So every time a boat gets to a certain place, this water triggers, and we trigger everything else as well too. But we then copy and paste the trigger and the horseshoe arch, and we copy and paste it about 5 to 6 times. So it's really cool. Like I can't wait for you guys to see it at the end of this episode when we ride the ride. But yeah, you pass through. So as soon as the boat goes up to one of those triggers, so right before, then the water turns on and just dumps water on people. Again, I wonder if it actually dumps water on people and they can feel it, like it affects them. So if you know anything about Planet Coaster and you know that to be true, reach out, let me know, because that would be really awesome to see. I guess I could figure it out myself and just do some market research, but I haven't opened this park yet. I think I want to open the park maybe after this first or second roller coaster. And my next ride's not even going to be a roller coaster, so that should tell you something. So maybe in the next couple episodes we'll open the park. I had the park open, but a lot of my employees quit because I wasn't aware that the park was actually open, because I removed the path that you can get in my park. And I knew nobody could get in, and I knew that I knew nobody could get into the park, but I didn't know that it was still open. So I had employees quitting on me and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I guess I can do my own research to see if if the citizens of my park get wet. So right now on the screen, we're using those horseshoe arches again, and I just wanted to add some more depth to my park and get some sort of enclosed area to just drowse people with water. I don't know if that is even the correct term, but just dump water on people, or have different type of effects, just these unexpected, crazy, random effects as you're riding this ride. So the best way that I thought, and it actually worked out pretty well, was to enclose those in a building. And for the most part, leave those effects running, because that would be very realistic. You wouldn't necessarily turn these effects off, but these were self-contained, so they could always be running, versus the arches in the beginning of the ride, where those probably wouldn't always be running. But nonetheless, we created this building. I duplicate this a bunch of times and just go crazy and nuts with the stuff that I put in. I actually run out of ideas. One of them we have like all smoke. Some of them we have fire coming out. Some of them we have just these water cannons that shoot straight lines and kind of randomize the lines there, as you guys can see on the screen. Kind of get drenched from all different angles if you come through this building. That looks so fun to me. I don't know about you guys, but this ride is super fun. Somebody needs to build this. If you are actively like an executive or you got a bunch of money, go build a theme park and build this ride. Consult me to build the blueprints or whatever, and then build this ride. Look at that. So you just get soaked when you come in this building, and it's such a cool scenery piece. Like, it just amazes me. Here's another building that we have right down the line. Again, I told you before that we duplicated it, so every single building I wanted to do something crazy different. This building right here, we do something kind of weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I might go in and take this out, but I know that if you have a bunch of smoke and if you have lighting, then you can make some really cool lighting effects. The problem is this is in the daytime. So with it being in the daytime, you can't really see anything. So it's kind of stupid. At night, it looks cool because there's a bunch of lights and the smoke lights up, as you can see on your screen right now how I made it nighttime. But nonetheless, I thought it was a decent idea. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first ride in Lakewood Gardens that we have built. It was super fun. It turned out really, really awesome. I mean, I'm super excited and super proud of how this ride turned out. One of my first ever rides in Planet Coaster. Yeah, I'm just very, very excited. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Tell me if you would ride this ride if it was at a park. Also, if you're new around here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My name is Design Candy, and I do simulation games and design the heck out of them. So hit that subscribe button if you are interested, and if you like what you see. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like or a thumbs up, either one, because they are the exact same. Nonetheless, this is Design Candy signing off, and without further ado, let's ride this thing.
I'm losing